Life goes on day after day.
This is one of Europe's most famous skylines. It's been described as one of the wonders of Britain, the New York of Europe, and even the pool of life. Liverpool, a city that's reinvented itself in the 21st century and which was crowned European Capital of Culture in 2008. But the soundtrack to this renaissance comes from a more unexpected quarter. This is the home of the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic, where a chance encounter led to a new dynamic partnership. The arrival 4 years ago of a charismatic young Russian conductor called Vasily Petrenko heralded a new era of success, and the orchestra's been winning awards and plaudits all around the world.
Petrenko's one of those few conductors who both audiences and musicians love in equal measure. You can get conductors who are one or the other, but it's not often you get both. He's incredibly driven, he's incredibly dedicated to what he does, pays real attention, but does it in a way that takes the orchestra with him.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Could we play from...
He's very exacting in terms of what he demands from us as players, and he also knows so much about the context of the music and about the intricacies of what the composer wanted, and he has a great way of putting that across to us as musicians. So I think actually it's very easy when he's at the helm to understand what he wants us to do and actually to do it.
You can't not play together. When Vasily gives a downbeat, you know exactly where it is.
Okay, it's good.
I remember when I was a student, people often used to refer to certain conductors as great trainers, orchestra trainers, and in my experience there aren't so many of those around these days, but Vasily, I would say, is definitely one.
I felt really strong relations with the orchestra immediately from the first moment. And so far, I'm very happy here. I don't see any signs of exhaust in the relationship between me and the orchestra, which happens with many conductors in the orchestra. It's a little bit like a family life. But so far, I haven't seen the signs of exhaust. And I still have seen a lot of potential. I still know where and how we need to improve in the future, and I think we're still quite far from the peak of what we can do. Short balls, please.
You said that the orchestra's not yet reached its full potential. What are your ambitions for them?
Well, as I've said in the very beginning and said many times, to make this orchestra top of the world, one of the number ones. And because I've been growing in a school where the second place has been a loser. And it's a championing psychology, and I think we will achieve that sooner or later.
The orchestra has enjoyed high points before, and it's worked with many of the greatest musicians in the world. It was under Sir Malcolm Sargent in the 1940s, though, that the orchestra started its groundbreaking educational work with local schoolchildren. One of the more pioneering education projects takes place here in West Everton at the Faith Primary School. The Royal Liverpool Phil is one of 3 orchestras chosen to take part in a pilot project called In Harmony, which is based on the hugely successful Venezuelan project El Sistema. Now, what happens is that every child at this school, from reception up, learns a musical instrument. And the teachers, the teaching assistants, the school secretary, even the head teacher, they get involved as well. They make music every day of the week. And very conveniently, the Liverpool Phil's rehearsal space is at the Friary, just next door.
Can everybody get ready to play? Sitting down, everyone sitting down. Ready, steady, listen to John. Lovely smooth blows, everybody. Off we go, please.
I'm a violinist in the Royal Liverpool Phil, And the players always ask me when I go in and play, how are the kids doing? You know, we saw them on this, we saw them in the paper here. And so they're really, I think, really excited to be connected to the project. And the kids just love it.
It's very fun and you get the opportunity to play any string instrument. I picked the viola because I like the sound of it.
The bass. I play the violin and I'm 10 years old.
It's a good opportunity to play these instruments because we've never had the chance to play them.
But In Harmony is about more than just introducing the children to classical music. It's a social project aimed at improving their well-being and their self-esteem.
Academically, we've had amazing assessment results this year, and it's baffled all of us because in past years there would be about 20% of the children would exceed what was expected of them, and this year 78% of the children have exceeded their targets and well exceeded their targets. So it's had an amazing effect, and the whole community around here is proud of the school. And that's a really good thing for the children.
Quite how far this success story will go, no one is sure. But if the Liverpool Phil are anything to go by, we should expect great things. Back at the Philharmonic Hall, the orchestra are rehearsing Tchaikovsky's Manfred for their prom.
Tchaikovsky Manfred Symphony is in 4 movements. The first movement it's a picture of the character of Manfred and his troubled spirit. The second movement brings us to the mountains, and then you have the beautiful fairy who appears in a waterfall drops. So it's light scherzo. Third movement is a scene in the fields with rural motifs and sounds of the nature. And finale is a journey through the hell's orgy and how he tried to get forgiveness from the gods and basically deserve his death. And the death for him is a revelation. And the C major, which you will hear by the end, is a light, God's light, which can blind you, but which brings peace for this troubled mind.
And here he is, the chief conductor of the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic, Vasily Petrenko, to conduct Tchaikovsky's Manfred.